Welcome once again to my movie library, and this is going to be one of the last few times you're probably going to see it looking exactly like this, and I'll tell you guys why. Basically, it's because well, in about a month or so, we're moving, and which you probably know because I mentioned this a lot on my channel. But one of the first things that gets packed up are a lot of the films here. So some of these shelves are going to look kind of empty or not here at all. But I will try to put my camera in my videos when I'm doing them to shelves that are still full, or maybe I'll do one looking really sad in front of empty shelves, you know, just because. Anyway, so tonight I actually did pick up a couple things, just a couple small things that I wanted to add to my collection. One I thought I had some of, but I soon came to discover I didn't own any of the series at all, so that was kind of a surprise. I am going to do a very quick, actually, versus video. There's no new comments for the C section, so hopefully after you guys watch please do watch the long video that I made. I put a lot of work into that, and I was asked during one of the comments if I will look into UK companies, because some people are actually getting into just getting their region-free Blu-ray players right now, and they're kind of interested and excited and want to know what companies are to shop for. So you probably already know this because you have watched that other video, right? Anyway, I got a couple things to show you. I have a versus to do. Why not? Let's get started. I've got a lot of TV stuff in the background there. A lot of shows. And so I'm slowly collecting certain TV shows that I want. And one of these days, when I retire, I will be able to sit back and watch, or in some cases rewatch, a lot of the shows that I watched when I was younger. So I grabbed this season of it. It was at my Dollarama, actually. I got all three of these things from Dollarama, so this is actually really cool. And this is the final season of the series. I thought for sure I had one of the other seasons. Some things went missing through our move, and obviously one of them was the first season of this show, because I had the first season at one point, and now I'm actually kind of sad because I know there's a Mill Creek release out, but I kind of like to grab the original releases when they came out. And this one here is Knight Rider. So I was a big Knight Rider fan when I was a kid. I watched this show a lot, and it was just one of those amazingly cool shows. It sounds silly. It's a guy with a talking car and they fight crime, but it actually was really, really cool back in the day. The Hoff was pretty awesome, and Knight Rider, the pilot actually movie that they did, was really good. I really remember liking that, and I remember going back and watching it and realizing that there was another guy in the role before he gets the plastic surgery to become Michael Knight, and he did a good job as well. So really, really cool stuff here. If you haven't seen this one, seriously guys, it's really worth checking out. It's a really cool series. I do have the first season of the new series, the kind of the remake series that did, the reboot, and that one I think went for 2 seasons. I got the first release of that one. So Knight Rider. Also, I grabbed another series, and I like detective shows. I've got Macmillan and the Wife, the complete series. I've almost completed Columbo. I've got Cannon, Diagnosis Murder, Jake and the Fat Man, Kojak. Got some Kojak, got some Ironside. I got a bunch. Starsky and Hutch I completed. But I didn't have any of this show, and it's one that I really used to watch a lot when I was younger. So I'm actually really excited to actually dive into this one. And this is Streets of San Francisco. This is the first 16 episodes of season 1, because this must be CBS, right? Yeah, it is CBS, because CBS splits up their shows a lot. Just look at the Gunsmoke or stuff like that. It's a lot of the Dynasty, which was that the CBS or ABC? Either one. That was split up as well for most of them. So they figured, here, we'll put them on 4 discs, about 16 episodes, which is kind of cool because it's not compressed to the point where, it's going to be bothersome. But if you've never seen Streets of San Francisco, it's a pretty cool show. It's got Carl Malden, who plays this kind of this grittier, older cop, and he's got this younger, I'll say more idealistic, we use that term, And that's he's played by Michael Douglas, actually. Yep, that Michael Douglas at a much younger age. So I also picked up a Western collection. I do love the old Westerns, and this is an Echo Bridge one, so I'm guessing it's going to be like a spindle thing. I'll check that out after. But it is America's Favorite Cowboy, Hopalong Cassidy. As a, not just as a Western fan, but as a guy that is into marketing and public relations. This guy here, see, Hopalong Cassidy with the big hat, which a lot of people find silly nowadays. There you go. He was one of the greatest marketers of all time. He played this character, and when they pretty much were going to get rid of the character, he bet everything about the rights to the character, and he marketed the hell out of Hopalong Cassidy. I really admire William Boyd, right? Yeah, William Boyd's Hopalong Cassidy. He did an incredible job, and he paid it forward too. He did stuff with kids. He was like actually a fairly nice guy. Hopalong Cassidy actually changed his life and his career for the better. Not only was he like, he was a bit of a ladies' man, but a rougher type character. He changed for this, and he kept this kind of like Hopalong Cassidy credo. Yes, there was a time when people didn't like always recoil at the fact of being typecast in something, and actually made the best of, and were very grateful for the fact that they were put into a role that people would remember them for the rest of their lives. Nowadays, you find some people are really good with that. Other people get really bothered by typecasting. As a guy that wanted to be an actor back in the day, if I was lucky enough to actually find a role that would mark me, and I'd say, okay, this is the role, this is you. Nobody else in this role, they can do it, but they can never do the job that you did. That's a pretty amazing thing. Actually, it's a really amazing thing. So it's just 3 releases, and I know it seems like not a lot, but considering I haven't bought anything in quite a while now, these 3 releases are super, super exciting to me. I love the show. I thought I had some of it. One of our boxes got lost, and I lost a few things. So that bummed me out a lot. But I'm a big fan of this show. I used to come home when I was a kid. I remember when they started showing it on in the afternoons. I was up in Wetaskiwin, in Alberta, and I'd like run home after school and like come and watch. Like I'd go and play for a bit, but when I got home to just sit down and have supper, Knight Rider was showing. They show some of the earlier episodes on there. I love that. Street San Francisco I watched when I was really young, and is this the show? I'm not sure what season it's in. There's a later season, I think, that has, I think it's Arnold Schwarzenegger as a bodybuilder killer type character. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it is. And greatest marketing genius of all time. Take that, Blair Witch Project. His was long lasting. You got, what, 2 movies and a reboot? Anyway, versus time. What is it tonight? It's an easy one, so I'm thinking of doing something else to go along with it. But it was requested. Scorpion versus Code Red. Coming up right about now. Cain and Abel. 2 brothers. How does that fit in here? Well, Scorpion and Code Red are actually done by 2 brothers. Names escape me right now. I think Bill Olsen is the name of one of the brothers. That's the one that does Code Red. And the other brother, I apologize, name I can't remember right now, does Scorpion Releasing. I actually have more Code Red than I do Scorpion Releasing. However, as in actually having sought out and bought myself, I have more Scorpion Releasing that I actually bought than I do Code Red. Both companies deal with like kind of genre, kind of niche type characters. So I'll show you what I got from each before I talk about either one of the companies. So I'll show you Code Red first. Got a couple more from them. So I have the electric chair, Last House on the Left. Oh, sorry, House on the Edge of the Park. This is actually a favorite movie of mine. The cheesy The Forest. Black Candles. Love this movie. Cutthroat's 9. Just a really good Western. Actually, pretty gory though. Hide and Go Shriek. Hell of a lot of fun. And The Hills Have Eyes 3 Mind Ripper, which I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've watched yet. Maybe I saw it years ago. Actually, I got a couple more. And these ones I actually did pick up. Got a Ghost Keeper, kind of exploitation. Running Hot. Dead Pit. And I've got a couple like Fred Williamson ones as well. So as you can see, I got a few when it comes to the Code Red. Not a lot, trust me. There's a lot of people with a lot of Code Red stuff. That ain't me. You're going to see a much smaller list when it comes to what I've gotten so far from Scorpion. So this is a Scorpion, I think Scorpion Kino, like one, and that is 12 Goodnight. Really, really am a fan of this film. I probably got a couple other Scorpio Kino ones there, but I'm not quite sure. But these are ones that I know. Because I'm a huge fan of the Katrina's Nightmare Theater, and I do like certain films there, I have The Devil Within Her, and if you've ever seen this movie, it's really, really cheesy, super bad, a lot of fun. Look at the cast though. You got Joan Collins there, Donald Pleasance is there. That's Carolyn Monroe, right? I'm trying to remember now. It's been a long time. Carolyn Monroe. Cool stuff. One of my favorite slasher movies of all time is this one right here. House on Sorority Row. If you haven't seen this one, really, really, you should. It's worth seeing. It's awesome. It's a great movie. This is the 2-disc DVD edition. I'd like to upgrade it to Blu-ray down the road. Hopefully I will be able to. Not in the near future, but... And Nothing But the Night. It's Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. That's really all you have to know. I don't remember this one really well. I know I've seen it. I don't remember it. So as you can see, one outnumbers the other. But how does that work under versus terms? Well, what I did was I worked today, but last night I watched a couple of my Scorpions and a couple of my Code Reds. I also did some looking up on some forum sites, and I checked their where you can buy the movies from. And this is not a hard decision to make when it comes to a versus. I'm actually drawing it out a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Kind of like drawing out the suspense of it and padding it. But this is one of the easiest verses I'm ever going to do. And I think most people probably know why. See, if you wanted to talk about a company that did some kind of shady stuff and were not friendly to the people that buy from them, and were out and out hostile, well, one company looms large above all of those companies. I mentioned some of the stuff that Twilight Time did, but Twilight Time are literal basically gentlemen compared to the company that I'm talking about. I would like to have a lot more of their releases than I got, but they make it really hard to want to search them out. People do tell me that there's sales that go on, much like Twilight Time, or you can go to Diabolique. Not Amazon so much, but nowadays you can get a couple on Amazon. But here's the thing: Scorpion Releasing has been a really good company, as far as everything that I've heard and everything that I can tell. I can find Scorpion Releasing in some stores. I've been able to find it on Amazon, and it's easier to find. I like the way that it's laid out. I like the way the features are done better. Code Red is done with a collector mentality sort of in mind. That's probably one of the most ingenious things that they do with Code Red, is that they number their discs. There's an odd numbering system. You'll figure that out if you ever try and start collecting Code Red. And they don't exactly... I really like the movie Black Candles. It's a favorite of mine. It would be awesome if I could tell you this movie here is loaded with special features and commentary, like maybe an analysis. I can't do that. Cutthroats 9 is another movie that I really like. Basically, Code Red's not good with special features. People will say, well, they're scanned, you know, they got more color correctedness than... I had initially been going to do Code Red versus 88 Films, and maybe I'll kind of do that down the road as well. I'll just leave it. I'll leave this one as almost like a side project. This won't be like an official knocking somebody out of a category type of thing. I won't do that with this one here, because what I've been doing so far is when I do a versus, if somebody loses that versus, then the one that wins is going to be going up against another versus down the road. That's the way that that's being done. It's being kind of King of the Ring style. If I was to do that, then Code Red would be knocked out right now. They have horrible customer service. Bill Olsen attacks his fans and collector base a lot. I've heard he has some issues, and I do a lot of like leeway and wiggle room for that. I always am upset or kind of down, disheartened if I find out that like Code Red's got like a giallo release or something like that, because they don't believe that subtitles are a thing that's really important. Yeah. Scorpion releasing, on the other hand, are a lot easier to deal with. They're easy to find. I haven't really had to deal with like Scorpion releasing. Like, if you go on Blu-ray.com, the forum, you find that you want to go on there, and you go to the Code Red the forum, it's disheartening to basically you're going to hear the owner of a company talk about nobody buys my movies, why should I make them? Falsely inflating the rarity of a film. Talking crap about me, well, not me, but personally, but Canada, because we all steal his movies. Nobody from Canada apparently buys his stuff. It all goes mysteriously disappearing. I've talked about this before, and I don't really... Here's the thing. There's not a company out there, that I can think of right now, that I will not or collect or buy from. If you put out a movie and I like it, unless you're like, I don't know, if Victor Salva put out a company, I probably wouldn't be going anywhere close to that if he did a genre label type thing. But as far as this, it's little petty things and issues that are behind the scenes that really have nothing to do with me, except it makes it harder for me to buy films, because he makes it harder for people to buy films from him. And then wonders why people go over to the UK or buy UK releases of films that he's put out or he's putting out. Basically because you blocked it within a wall of, like, in the US. Now with Ronin there, it's made it a little bit easier. Someone else is able to order, but still the shipping's a little high. They have the store in MvL. It's nice to see that there's some double features. It's probably with the Dark Factory, I think it's the name of the company, are coming on Amazon as well, so that's interesting. And somebody had to win this one, and Scorpion won it, like, it was hands down. They're just easier to, their covers themselves are, honestly, I like the Katrina's Nightmare Theater line. They put out a lot of good movies that I like, a lot I don't have, the ones that I wish I had. But it's really an easy one. I love. Now that being said, I've downed on Code Red for like the last 6 or 7 minutes. I would buy Code Red in a second if their releases were easier to find in my area. because they have a lot of releases out there that I do want. One of the most wanted films in my collection, not in my collection, is Sweet 16 with Dana Kimmel. I'm a huge slasher fan. I'm a huge 80s slasher fan. I gave hints to family and friends that I wanted Sweet 16 for my birthday, but they'd already gotten me stuff, and I had to wait. I'll probably get the 88 films released because, let's be honest, it's going to be just too hard for me to get the Code Red release, and that's too bad. It's a film that I really wanted, but like Blood Harvest before, it's just going to be one that's going to be one of those that unless something happens, like on eBay or something, or it becomes more readily available, it's going to be one of those search for down the road, hope I get it type of things for my collection. This verse doesn't seem kind of negative. I really don't like that. But of all the companies out there, Code Red has made the most mistakes. They actually really have. I can't think of another company that's made as many glaring mistakes as Code Red has with a lot of the stuff they do. And it's a shame because they get so many kind of cool titles. Where else would you get movies like Black Candles or The Forest or The Electric Chair, Ghost Keeper? It's just fun, cheesy stuff. Every time I find out that they got a title that I want, I get a little down because I know that's probably going to be a title that I'm not going to have for a long time. And unless somebody stateside is nice enough to send me a Code Red title, I don't get it. I bought some DVDs from Code Red. This came from the Screen Archives website. It cost me a bit. Way more than they should have. And these were like really cheap ones. Another release that I really want that I don't have from them is The Pit. I'm super into exploitation, Canadian, and I like cheesy horror, really Z-grade horror, and The Pit checks off all of those boxes. But I think Kino, they put that out with Kino. Now here's the thing. During the Kino sale, I thought, you know what? I'm going to get The Pit. Except that's only sold in the U.S. Can't get it to Canada. I also cannot from Kino get The Bitch or The Stud from Joan Collins. Those aren't, I'm not swearing or saying bad words. Those are actually the titles of the film. So just got to put that out there. Anyway. That's the verses. It's a very short one. I didn't have to go very in depth. Scorpion won it easily. It was a really easy one to do. But let's not end it there. Let's end it on a more high note. So I've got... I know what we can talk about. Tell you what. It's going to be a surprise. So recently I watched a movie from Vinegar Syndrome called Malibu High. It is a super cool, crazy movie that's a hell of a lot of fun. If you've never seen Malibu High, I do recommend it. There's a halfway to Black Friday sale coming up for Vinegar Syndrome. Look into the film. It's not what you think it is. You probably see the cover and you think it's just a teen sexploitation film. It's not that. Now, that being said, I do love that genre of film. So I thought, kind of just for fun right now, I'm going to do like just a little... show you some of my favorite films that I grew up with back in the day. The kind of the sexploitation fun films. You know, these aren't like they're not Skinamax style films or anything like that. They're very innocent films. Ones that did lean a bit on the nudity side of it and like kind of the wacky hijinks. Something that you're not going to see so much in Malibu High. That's more of a serious film, but it'd always be like camp films or like films set in high schools. You know, for you younger folks, before American Pie, there was other movies that did the American Pie type of thing, and did it much, much better in my opinion. And they dealt with issues. Some of them actually did. But let's look at some fun ones tonight, because my verse was kind of dark, so let's go to the other side of it. Working as a... some of these ones were done in Canada, and one of the ones that's probably best known, even like its sequels were kind of fun, cheesy type of stuff. But the first one was probably, in all honesty, it was the best done one. Though I do like 2 and 3 for their cheesy exploitation aspects and just the kind of super crazy way that they go. But the original Meatballs is a really fun film. I enjoy this, and I still actually do enjoying watching this one to this day. Bill Murray, again, an early role for him, and who else was in this one here? I know that Chris Makepeace. So a lot of you guys probably aren't going to know who Chris Makepeace is, but if you saw Vamp, he's in that. He's like stars in that. Chris Makepeace was an 80s Canadian teen actor, did a few things, probably best known for movies like My Bodyguard, and all over here he did like a TV show, like kind of a news type of TV show for teens that I used to watch when I was a kid. But he did a few movies. But My Bodyguard is probably the one that Chris Makepeace is best known for. But he does have a role in this one right here. Next up is a 4-pack, and if you don't have it, I actually do recommend it if you're into these type of films. One of them actually has the great Vincent D'Onofrio in a very early role. I'm not kidding you on that. And these are kind of just like fun. It's called the Sexy Box, and this was put out by Troma. What's really cool, what makes this really collectible, is that it's got 4 films. It's got more than 4 films, to tell you the truth. Basically, there's extra films hidden as bonus features on these 4 discs with these films. It's like actually 7 films. But the main ones here are Squeeze Play, Waitress, Stuck on You was a really kind of a popular one back in the day. But the first Turn On was the one that I kind of knew. That's one that had Vincent D'Onofrio in it. It's just really cheesy, and it's almost like an anthology type one. It's super silly, the early type of like innocent like sex comedies that they did, and they are very, very innocent. Now, when you look at the inside of it, you'll see that they're they're colorful, and if you can see behind it, the thing is that each one of these here 4 films had a really cool kind of poster to them. So when you buy the Sexy Box, I know a guy that actually bought 4 copies. I think he bought more than 4, but about at least 4 copies of this, because you get a different poster. You had to collect the 4 different like mini posters that would be on the back of the thing. So I've got Squeeze Play. Just fun, cheesy little film. I did enjoy it. Actually, I enjoyed all the ones on the set, and each one of them, like say the best poster is probably Waitress. Actually, it's the John poster, and there's features, there's interviews, commentaries, a bunch of stuff on this here. So honestly, guys, this is a really good one if you don't have it and you're into that type of film, just like fun comedies, innocent like exploitation, sex comedies. That's a really good set to get. And if you do have it, or if you're getting it, and once you get it, let me know which mini poster you got on the inside of yours, because it's really cool. And I'm not going to lie to you, if I went to I got this at a Comic-Con right from Lloyd himself over there. So if you had them on for a decent price, I would think about double dipping to see if I could get one of the other. I know it's really silly, but get one of the other posters. It's just really cool. One that fits as kind of the sexploitation type of film. I had one of the hottest girls that ever came from that era in the 80s, but also works as kind of a slasher mystery movie as well. There's a little movie called They're Playing with Fire. I really, really enjoyed this film. I don't always enjoy a lot of these films that I enjoyed as my teen years when I watch them as an adult. I remember I was a really big fan of a movie that's with Joan Collins in it called Homework. And it was a bit of the old, like, older lady seducing younger teen boy type of thing. I was a teen, so that was probably a super, like, sexy fantasy thing of mine. But when I rewatched Homework again, I'd still pick it up. I haven't been able to find it, but I did find it online. I watched it there. I normally don't do that, but I was really bored and I really wanted to see that movie. It didn't stand the test of time. It really, really didn't. I was really bored. I found myself like fast forwarding through the film, and then just feeling bad about fast forwarding and going back and watching scenes that I found really, really boring. Very hit or miss. Very disappointed because I remember that film being like super cool and sexy when I was younger. I was wrong. I was so wrong. They're Playing with Fire is not the case with that. I really did like this. Sybil Danning is a beautiful, beautiful woman. Like, I know you're probably like judging the '80s hair, but it's cool. I tell you, it's really cool. She's been in a lot of movies over the years. This has a great cast actually. Andrew Prine's in this one as well. Good little like bit of a thrillerish type. Now these are just fun. This is the Hard Bodies collection. Hard Bodies 1 and 2. Now, I remember part 1 a bit more than I remember the second one. Basically, for one of the best 80s teen sex comedies of all time by Entertainment Weekly. I'd agree. It's actually pretty good. It's basically, you got these younger guys who, so young guy doesn't pretty much, this young guy doesn't pretty much have a place to stay type of thing. But he's really good at getting girls. So, he helps these older guys that have come to the beach to for the summer. Helps them to like teaches them the ways of getting the female type of thing. That's the one, right? I got to make sure. And 3 middle-aged geezers. They're probably my age. I'm just putting that out there. They're probably my age or younger. Thanks, box cover movie, for making me feel old. Moving to a swinging beach house, they hire a young stud to teach them how to score with the local beauties. Courtney Gaines from Children of the Corn, Darcy DeMoss from Reform School Girls, 80s band Vixen, and hundreds of Southern California's hottest swimsuit models co-star in the legendary cult comedy that Mr. Skin calls astounding, a gaggle of gaga-making girlies. And the sequel, Sorrels Pickard and Roberta Collins, really, take their ventures overseas in a sequel about a crew of boneheaded American filmmakers in the steamy Greek Isles, where topless hotties speak the universal language of love. Brenda Bach from American Gothic, James Cairn from Return of the Living Dead, Fabiani Udino from Summer School, and almost every gorgeous nymph in Europe co-star in this flesh-filled follow-up. It has the same director, but I haven't seen it in a long time, and I really don't see how 1 and 2 kind of mixed nudity, wacky hijinks. Next up is one that is done by a director that a lot of you guys, if you watch my channel, you're going to know, because if you're watching this, you probably watched Friday the 13th several times, just like I did. But have you seen the real classic film by Sean S. Cunningham? And no, I don't mean My Boyfriend's Back. Spring Break. How can you not? Don't you just have these covers? Spring. Now this actually is the cover that was used in the on the poster, and again on DVD for the very first time. No features. Great soundtrack on Spring Break though. This is a cool '80s soundtrack. We got. Let's see here. We got 38 Special, Jack Mack the Heart Attack, Cheap Trick. I'm showing my age, but again, it's really cool. And again, Mr. Skin is a big fan of this movie. Mr. Skin is my age, isn't he? I really don't. I noticed the website, and I know exactly what Mr. Skin is. I've never been on the website. I think you need like a membership or something for that. But I'm guessing he's a guy probably my age that spent way too much time watching these films. So, not that different for me. To be totally honest, but this is a fun little film. I enjoyed it. Now we're coming to the two gems, the classics, the ones that I do think that everybody should have in their collection. And I think these films are really just legitimately that good, that they are good films. And they work. One of them is wackier than the other one. One of them is a little bit stranger. There is a film, and it's an Israeli film, I think, called Lemon Popsicle. There's a series of them. And they tried to translate that over into North America. And did that with a specific film, which I'm going to show you guys in a second. A film that actually starred Teddy from Friday the 13th, Part 4. Give Teddy a Kiss. And he does an amazing job in this film and has really decent range. He's actually a really good dramatic actor. There is comedic, wacky hijinks in this film. There is nudity in this film, but much like a film that I don't know if I've got or I just can't remember where it's at right now, called Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which again is another film that is loaded with fantastic songs and great acting and like comedy mixed with drama. Something that will become more prevalent in like TV shows later on. We get like kind of the dramedies type of thing. But the one that kind of really, I would say, probably helped start it all was a little movie called Last American Virgin. You see the title, you look at this cover, and you're probably thinking like, much like when you see Malibu High first, it's just all wacky hijinks and nudity and just cheesy 80s stuff. And there's some of that there, but the film has a lot of heart. I don't mean just it has a lot of heart. And the ending, it got me. This doesn't end the way a lot of the 80s films would end. This is not Fraternity Vacation, which is a film I like but I don't own. But I won't say the tagline for Fraternity Vacation, the one, well, not the tagline from the one, but the one that everybody knows that's seen the movie. Much like Shark Attack 3 Megalodon, Fraternity Vacation has its own little like tagline that people remember once they see the film. Last American Virgin is a great film. He is a really good actor. It's really, really, really good. And it breaks your heart a bit. It really does. But you're glad you watched it. You feel glad you saw this. You know it's more than just the average cheesy film. There's some odd directorial choices in a particular scene after a girl has had to have an abortion. He shows up with like kind of like a Christmas tree and like oranges. So I'm guessing maybe that signified something somewhere, maybe with the director. But I don't know. I didn't pick up on what that meant. If you guys know, for instance, let me know. It just seemed an odd choice, or maybe that was just the fact that he was an odd, awkward teen, and this is just what he brought. I don't know. But it's a really good film, and this guy here, you normally would see a guy like this playing like the role that you see the dark-haired kind of like guy playing the in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You would see him playing like the sleazier type of like doesn't care type of character. He doesn't play that role here. He's not Teddy in this film. He's really good, and it's a really good film. Take away all the like a lot of these films are fun films. This is a good film. It deserves its place in cinema, and it doesn't have it yet. It really should. It's a great little film, and the end, it got me. It really it got me in a way. Canada, we rock these things. Porky's. This is the movie that American Pie ripped off to become a film. I'm not kidding. It really pretty much is. Except Porky's is a little wackier, a little bit more fun, and in my opinion, better acting. Not that there's bad acting in American Pie. It's an okay movie. I do like the American Pie film, the first film anyway. But this is cool. This is actually a period piece. It's done in it's set in the 50s. Porky's is like this the strip club that the boys try and get into. It's a club that these young teens try and get into. He's a character. There would be 3 Porky's. There's like the Porky's trilogy. There's Porky's 2, I think it's the next day. And Porky's 3 is called Porky's Revenge. It's just, you remember the characters from this movie. Kim Cattrall's character and the payoff to what her nickname is. Really good. Not the most, I don't know if it's the most politically correct thing right now, but it's a fun film. The Porky's films were actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them. I wanted to do something different, something lighter tonight, but Last American Virgin, again, made it a little bit darker, didn't it? Because there's a darkness to a certain aspect of that film. There's a heartbreak that you do have when you are young and you are a teen and you are falling in love with this person that is the one and is going to change your life if you can get with this person. This is going to be, it's going to be incredible. You look across the room, you're at a dance, you're at a party, and you see her, or him. And maybe it's a glance, or just a sideways look, or you just notice them. And the room lights up a bit more where they're at. Or if you're lucky enough, or cursed enough, you turn and your eyes meet, or your gaze brushes, and your heart stops, and you can't think, or you can, but none of the thoughts that you come up with are super coherent. And the only thing you can think, the only thing that's going through your mind right now is, how do I speak to this person? Is it going to come out right? If I do, am I going to come out right? Or are they going to see me? And what happens next? Can I... And then you think about this person. And you think, if I was ever with him or her, that would be it. That would be obtaining that unobtainable goal. That would make me complete. Whether it's high school or college or later in life, that would do it. But sadly enough, in a lot of cases, especially when you're young, it doesn't exactly turn out that way. It can be a bit heartbreaking. That being said, here's a little advice. If you've been through an experience like that and it didn't work out, or maybe the person didn't notice you the way that you wanted them to. Maybe they liked your friend. Maybe you did date and it didn't work out. Maybe that's it. But here's the thing, that doesn't take away from that first feeling and that first thought. That was great. That was amazing. That was fantastic. You felt that. That's wonderful. Don't have to obsess about it. It's not a thing that you got to worry about. It's just so nice that there are times in your life when you're going to see that or see someone, and they're going to make you feel that way. They're going to make you feel good. They're going to make you feel bad. They're going to lift your heart. They're going to break your heart. But knowing that that's happened, that connection is there, that it's made, that it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It doesn't matter if it works out. It doesn't matter if you end up with that person, if you never go with that person, if you never find them in that way, then that's probably not the person for you. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it felt good. it felt really nice to look at someone, and it felt really nice to see somebody that stopped your heart for a second until the next person stops your heart. There's my advice on it. Take it however you like. Grain of salt, couple grains of salt. But I'm a romantic. I truly am. I've been trying to hide that fact, but it's true. I'll be right back, guys. You know, sometimes it helps to look down at the lower shelves. Things that you may have forgotten. Things that you put in certain places, and you kind of wonder what exactly is there. So what's on some of the lower shelves? What can that tell you about me? And why put them on the lower shelves? Well, sometimes you just don't have the place for them anywhere else. There's films here like more recent things I picked up, like High Plains Drifter, Destry Rides Again, and Winchester 73. Because I've got a Western section down here. My very favorite, one of my very favorite documentaries, Psycho Legacy. If you don't have this one in your collection, and you got like Friday 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, I do recommend you pick up Psycho Legacy. It's a really, really good documentary. Cheesy chase films are down here. Movies like Cannonball Run. Yeah, I really did have fun with that, and I saw that one and many of these others in the theater. But you also find cool little film noirs down here, like Ray Milland and Charles Laughton in The Big Clock. Gotta recommend it. This is actually a really, really good film. And then you're gonna find cool little titles that are gonna help you with a future versus video, like The Skull. I know I'm still going to do that Hammer versus Amicus one. It's just taking a while. And then you find little like documentaries that you found and didn't know that it was going to like capture you the way that it did. And pun intended with capturing the freedmen. It's a really good documentary. And I didn't know anything about it going in, so I really did go in blind, and it did. I got the kind of gut punch with that one. Well, finding it out, as you can see, my Mon Macabres are back there. I have the complete series of Secret Agent Man, which is fantastic because I've also got The Prisoner, and they do go together. So there you go, guys. I actually got down on the lower part of the floor to actually show you guys some of the stuff that I got. I keep a lot of my documentaries down here. Stuff like the Easy Riders, Raging Bulls, and Decade Under the Influence, 1970s. It's my 70s documentaries. When I watch those, I usually get into like a need to watch a lot of like 70s stuff, and some stuff that I meant to use for some of my Halloween episodes, like a documentary on the Donner Party is here by Rick Burns, and I got one on witchcraft as well. But again, the documentary that I watched pretty much more than any documentary that I've ever gotten, and I got it this year, well, last year really now, and I recommend it. If you don't have it, if you're a fan of Westerns at all, if you're a fan of like early cinema, it's not a long one, it's about 100 minutes, but When Cowboys Were King is an incredible, incredible documentary. If you've not seen When Cowboys Were King, see it. Like, seriously, I'm not lying. No hyperbole there. See it. It's a great documentary. If you can pick it up, pick it up. There's my suggestion for the day. And it is a really, it is a seriously good suggestion. It's a really cool one. So there you go, guys. Thanks once again for joining me in my movie library, which is going to be dismantled and moved, but we'll get to see it coming together in a new place, and hopefully, not sure if it'll be as big in size as this, but I'm going to try to make it as good and as special as I can. Thanks for watching tonight, guys, and my legs are falling asleep here, so it's really it's time for tea. Thanks for joining me in the movie library, and hope you guys have a great weekend.